it's 3 rookie running backs that
Oh
impress.
yeah, we was okay.
Right?
Go ahead.
There's Gibbs for Detroit. There's of course Bijan Robinson in Atlanta, and then we just seen Achane get
Oh
what 200 203 and 4 touchdowns, 203 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 1 passing, I think, all over the place for Miami. And I want to rank these running backs. Be honest.
Are we are we ranking them
Rank these rookie running backs one to 3.
from the season or from today's performances?
Nah, from the season so
Week 1.
far.
Oh, I mean,
what? Oh, just what we see so far in these first 3 games. Rank them.
I don't know, man. I like Gibbs.
in these first 3 games, man, I would have to probably go Bijan 1.
I like Bijan.
Gibbs 2. And
if you got to think about it that long, you capping. If you got to think about it that long,
so here's the reason why I put Gibbs above Achane, because we haven't called Achane's name until today. Like he did a couple of field spots in week 1 and 2, but it was mainly Mostert and the passing game.
Yeah, because he's a backup, and I don't think he played week 1. He didn't play week 1. He just played last week and this week.
So I can't put him above Gibbs, who was
What do you see on the field? When have we heard Gibbs' name other than getting tackled on the first contact every play?
Gibbs had more yards from scrimmage than Bijan did today.
All right, give me the stats, because I ain't even pay attention to it. It was so underwhelming watching the game. I ain't even pull the stats up.
It was quiet. It was a quiet 80-yard day. It was one of them ones.
So 80 yards rushing or 80 yards from scrimmage?
80 yards rushing.
Okay.
And then
Bijan had a horrible game though.
Yeah, Bijan had I think 50 yards total from scrimmage, but it was 30 on the ground, 20 in the air on 13 touches, and then Gibbs had 17 touches on the ground. So it was a more productive, more efficient day, and more output from Gibbs. Although it didn't look like it because it seemed like he was going down first contact. He wasn't breaking off any long gains.
He was,
but at the end of the day, the tell of the tape was that Gibbs statistically had a better game than Bijan today.
Yeah, and it sound like that's mostly based on he was on the team that was dominating the game. You know, that's usually how they go. But just looking at it from the eye test and not looking at the stats, I would have to have Gibbs ranked 3rd behind Achane and Bijan. Bijan would be 1, Achane would be 2, Gibbs would be 3. And I mean, I thought Gibbs was going to just like probably get Rookie of the Year this year. I thought he was, but he just ain't passing the smell test for me, man. It ain't looking right yet.
Yeah, I agree. Only because I think that the first couple of weeks he was the 1B back with Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I like. We knew early, even though Tyler Algier, who's a beast, by the way, got a lot of carries, he gets a lot of touches. It just looks different when Bijan has the ball in his hands because he makes the first guy miss almost every time. He rarely takes direct contact when he's running the ball. Now I did see Gibbs get loose a couple of times. I think he had a couple 20-yard runs, especially towards the fourth quarter when they were trying to put the game away. But I think he has to grow into getting that many carries. I think that's what the issue is when, who's the other back y'all had, Chris, that had
Greg
Reynolds. That's who it was. It was another back.
It was another dude whose name he was they put him up from the practice squad this week.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, number 28.
Yeah, like a between the tackles type runner, kind of like Montgomery could be, but Montgomery can spread it outside too. But I think Gibbs has to work up to be that guy. And I think probably mid-season we'll see him start to spread his wings. But, it just because we know what type of athlete he is, we expect him more.
Yeah,
all of them. You know what I'm saying? We expect him more. He's a 4-3 guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's a 4-3 guy, and he's not a small guy, so you expect him. And a couple of times he showed flashes. That's what I'll say. He showed flashes where, boy, when he got that ball, he just looked like a different type of athlete than everybody out there. We just need to see that more.
So as the resident Lions fan, I'll go ahead and speak to. It's simply a misuse issue. They're not. I think Dan Campbell kind of spoke too soon, showed his cards too early, saying we're going to use Gibbs in the way that you've never seen before. And then David Montgomery goes down. Now you have to like use him as a traditional running back. And so that's what everybody was expecting. So now everybody's game planning for that. As you saw against Atlanta, like I said earlier in the group chat, Atlanta's game plan was to sell out on the run. Yep. And that's why I was looking like little short 2-3 yard gains, no gains, stuck at the line of scrimmage type deal, because it seemed like their game plan was tailored because they knew with Montgomery gone that they were going to try to get Gibbs active out of the backfield. He was going to be the number one back today. It's growing pains. We have the tape from him from college. We know what he can do. But the league is a different pace of game than college is. And so you're going to have to and I mean the same can be said for Bijan. It's just Bijan is just a different guy. Like he's a different guy.
Ain't Gibbs in the same kind of category as Alvin Kamara? Are they similar in size?
That's who they were comparing him to. But honestly, Bijan is closer to Alvin Kamara than Gibbs is.
I think so. I think so.
Because Alvin Kamara got a little Jonathan Taylor in him, man. They both got that size. That's the difference. Jonathan Taylor came in as a rookie, man. I mean, he was just breaking tackles and the speed was there and all that stuff. It just seemed like Gibbs, you know what I mean, he go down a little bit too easy for me. And the crazy thing, I thought Kamara was small when he was when he first popped up on the scene. I was like, man, how come this dude keep breaking all these freaking tackles? Well, I still don't understand how Kamara do it.
You know, it's a gift and a curse, man, to be small, because one, your smaller guys are very, very quick and shifty. Mm-hmm. And once they get that first block, man, once they get that first hole, the only thing that's really messing with them is DBs, and they backpedaling, so they ain't, it's hard to stop it.
Yeah.
So I think the thing about it is like the O-line in Alabama, that O-line is just an incredible O-line. They're gonna make space out of nothing, and so Gibbs is great in space. That's why whenever you see in the Kansas City game when he got those catches out of the backfield in space, he broke tackles, he made things happen, he made people miss. It's gonna take time for him to be a behind the tackles runner and to create space out of that, because he's just so used to already being in space and then making plays from that.
All right,
he gotta be patient, bro. He gotta be patient. He gotta wait.
It's just gonna like today was very promising because for 80 yards and I watched the whole game and I couldn't have told you where I found 80 yards at.
He had a couple big runs. Like he didn't. But and I agree with everything that you said as far as Atlanta's game plan. The game plan was to say, okay, stop him, because David Montgomery ain't there. They already said before this game that, Gibbs is going to have a bigger role. Let's sell out to stop him. And we did that for the most part. But shout out to Jared Goff, because let me tell you, that dude, he was surgical, because he knew that we were selling out for the run. And he knew that we were a bend but don't break defense. So we were playing so far behind, and he was patient. He found the right guy every time. And in the beginning, they were nickel and diming us to death, causing those DBs to cheat up. And then they hit us over the top with the tight end. And I was like, okay, if we don't get any pressure on this dude, it's going to be a long.
And Grady Jarrett got back there and he stopped the drive. Grady Jarrett did get back there and stop the drive. Yeah. And the Lions hurried up and rectified that situation.
Hey, you know what, though? The only thing about Atlanta, you got to score. You got to score points, though.
That's absolutely,
man. Yeah, I was just about to ask that, man.
Score points.